Happy Wednesday, everybody. Mrs. Tagg's back again. It's a beautiful day today, the day that I'm filming it with Mr. Zach. Might be raining on the real day that you watch this video that Mrs. Tagg is making with Mr. Zach. I don't know. We don't know what the weather's going to be, but it's still Wednesday and it's going to be a great day. How you doing today, Annie? Oh, I'm doing really well. How's everybody else? Do you have your Halloween costumes ready? I got mine. Remember, I'm going to be a bat. Mrs. Tagg, you have your cat mask on. Cat and bat, they rhyme. They do, Annie. Annie, I kind of have a long story today, so we really have to make it quick. We got to sing our songs, and we have to keep going. So Mr. Zach doesn't have to be here for a whole hour. And my mask is falling down. Thank you for wearing your mask, Annie. Mrs. Tagg's going to take hers off, and we're going to sing. Okay. Here we go, everybody. Oh, the more we get together, together, together. Oh, the more we get together, the happier we'll be. For your friends are my friends, and moo, 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 moo. Oh, the more we get together, the happier we'll be. I see Cora and Kate and Levi and Reed and Teresa and Henry and Charlotte and Lucy and Teddy and Maddie and Jasper and Zoe. Oh, there's Waylon and Aubrey and Dirk and Zoe and Jameson and Waylon and Lainey and Emily and Aletha and Sammy and Irie and Eli, all the mommies and the daddies and the siblings and the nannies and Mrs. Tagg and Annie and Cooper too. Oh, the more we get together, the happier we'll be. Thanks for coming again. It's gonna be a great time. I have a story about a goldfish. Is he upside down or is he right side up? Oh, there he goes. There's another one too. We're gonna be talking today about the letter G. G says G, G, G. And sometimes it says J, 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 like the letter J. I have a story called Fish Out of Water by Dr. Seuss. It's a long story, but Ellie Alligator, she wants to read her Dr. Seuss story for a little bit too. So I'm going to put the goldfish. This is what the craft is going to be. You can come into the library if you haven't gotten your craft already. And Annie, yes, Mrs. Tagg, you have to sit over there. Okay, I'll sit and listen. Alrighty, and I'll sneak out over here. Just kind of peek out. Yeah, Cooper's over here too. Okay, here we go. Come on, alligator. Aunt Annie's alligator. Letter G. Hey, let's real quick sing the alphabet song. Ready? Nope, you're not ready. Oh, you know what? You've already started it? Oh, wait till I open up the book, and then we can point to the letters. Here we go. Oh, and it says Tagg right there. This is my book. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time sing it with your siblings, please. So the story is ABCs, Dr. Seuss. We're going to start with what letter? Because we're talking about what letter today? Letter G. G for goldfish, or George, or Grandma and Grandpa. We'll start with G too. Big A, little a. What begins with A? Aunt Annie's alligator. A, A, A. Short sound says A. Long sound A says A. Big B, little b. What begins with B? B sound is B, B, B. Remember. Barber, baby, bubbles, and a bumblebee. Right there. Big C, little c. What begins with C? Camel on the ceiling. C, C, C. C says two sounds. C says k. And C says s. Big D, little d. Dable, Donald, do. Dreamed a dozen donuts in a duck, dog, too. The sound that the letter D makes is D, D, D. A, B, C, D, E. Ear, egg, elephant, E, E, E. The long E sound is E. The short E sound is F. Big F, little f. Or F, F, F. 4 fluffy feathers in a fiffer, feffer, feff. F says f. You have to put your teeth over your lips to make that sound. Sometimes it's a hard sound to make. Here's the next letter, the last letter we're going to do for today. Help me say the alphabet all the way to this letter, and that letter is G. So here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Goat, girl, goo goo goggles. G, G, G. G says two sounds. G says J sometimes, and G sound says G sometimes. Oh, can't do that page yet. We're not there yet. So I'm going to put away this ABC book by Dr. Seuss. And if you, I'm going to pull out this book. But if you look really carefully, the backs of these books both have the Cat in the Hat on them. This book is really written by the man who wrote the Cat in the Hat, Dr. Seuss. That's who wrote the story and had created the character Cat in the Hat. He was that big hat, remember? This story here is called A Fish Out of Water. There's a cat in the hat up here, and on the back there's a cat in the hat too. But Dr. Seuss did not write this story. One of his friends, P.B. Eastman, actually wrote this story. Oh, actually, illustrated by P.B. Eastman. It's Helen Palmer. I said that wrong. She's the person who wrote the story. P.B. Eastman, he illustrated it. But Dr. Seuss said, this is a really good book for kids to learn to read on. Plus, it's just a funny story. I remember reading this story when I was a little girl, so I thought I'd read it to you. It's called A Fish Out of Water. There's not lots of colors in the illustrations, but it's still a fun book. This little fish, I said to Mr. Carp, I want him. I like him, and he likes me. I will call him Otto. Very well, said Mr. Carp. I will tell you how to feed him. Then Mr. Carp told me, when you feed a fish, never feed him a lot. So much and no more. Never more than a spot, or something may happen. You never know what. Then I took Otto home. I gave him some food. I did not give him much, just one little spot. But this did not make Otto happy. He wanted more food. He had to have more. Poor Otto. He just had to have more. Look, came out the whole box. I knew what Mr. Carp had told me. Never feed him a lot, never more than a spot, or something may happen, you never know what. But I gave Otto all the food in the box. Then something did happen. My little Otto began to grow. I saw him grow. I saw him grow and grow. Soon he was too big for his little fish bowl. There was just one thing to do. I put Otto into the flower bowl. There, Otto, I said. This will hold you. But no, the flower bowl did not hold him. I went right on growing. This was not funny at all. His tail was growing right out of the top. I grabbed the flower bowl. I ran with it. Otto, I said, I knew just where to put you. Then you will be all right. I put him in the big pot, but Otto was not all right. I saw him grow some more. Very soon he was too big for the pot. Oh no. I put him in a pot after pot. He was growing so fast. Poor Otto, my poor little fish. Oh, why did I feed him so much? Otto, I said, stop growing, please. But Otto could not stop growing. He was growing all the time. Very soon I ran out of pots. What's he gonna do now? Otto had to have water. There was just one thing to do. I did it. I grabbed him. I grabbed him by the tail. I ran up with him, up to the tub. The tub is big. It can hold lots of water. At last, there, Otto, I said, this tub holds my father. This tub holds my mother. So it will hold you. Think it's going to hold him? It's going to be big enough? We'll see. But the tub did not hold him at all. He went right on growing. Oh, Otto, I said, what can I do now? Look at the water is so high, it's even under that little boy. Luckily, this is a pretend story. It really wouldn't have been like that unless he had a book. Then, crash, the door went down. Crash, Otto went down. I went down too. Oh, what a ride. Maybe your mom tells you not, and dad tell you not to splash so much in the bathtubs because there's lots of water in there, but it wouldn't happen like that. But you might make a mess. Down went the water into the cellar, and down went Otto too. I had to do something fast. I grabbed the phone, and by the way, when I was a little girl, this is what a phone looked like. Now your mom and dad use a cell phone. I have a cell phone too, but when I was a little girl, even until I was a mommy and taught kindergarten, that's what my phone looked like. I called the police. Help, help, I said. I fed my fish too much. Mr. Carp told me not to, but I did. What? Said the policeman. Mr. Carp told you not to, but you did? Too bad. I will come at once. The policeman came. My fish went that way, I said. He is down in the cellar. The policeman ran down with me. What a fish, he said. He is much too big to keep in the cellar. We will have to get him out. Look, even the pots are floating in the cellar. Now that could happen. You could flood your basement. We had to work and work to get Otto out. Poor Otto. Why did I feed him too much? Mr. Carp told me something would happen, and it did. It did. Look at that police officer's helping him. Don't get it out. Now we had Otto out of the cellar, but now Otto had no water at all. A fish has to have water, I said to the policeman. We must take him to water. Get help on the radio. The policeman called on the radio. He called for the fireman. Help, help, he said. A boy has fed his fish too much. A boy has fed his fish too much. We will come at once. He's a nice firefighter and a nice police officer. The firemen came. They all helped get Otto up. But where can we take him? I asked. Uptown? Downtown? Where are they going to put that big fish at? I yelled the fireman. "To the pool," I yelled. "And please hurry." They did hurry. The fire truck with Otto came right up to the pool. The fireman yelled, "Everyone get out of the pool! This fish is going in!" And the people here are going, "Ah, we'll get out of your way." Down into the pool went Otto, into the pool with a big, big splash. Now I was happy. Now at last my Otto had water. Lots of water. This big pool was just the thing. This big pool would hold him. His big tail was there. Pages are getting harder to turn. But Otto went right on growing. And no one wanted Otto in the pool. They did not like Otto at all. "You take that fish out of here," they yelled. There was just one thing to do. I did it. I ran to the phone. I called Mr. Carp. "Please, please help me," I said. "I fed Otto too much." "Oh dear," said Mr. Carp. "So you fed him too much?" I knew you would. I always say don't, but you boys always do. "Yes, I will come." I like his outfit. Then Mr. Carp came. He had a black box in his hand. He had a lot of other things too. "What are you going to do, Mr. Carp?" I asked him. But Mr. Carp said nothing. He just went right up to the pool. He took his black box with him and all the other things too. Splash! Mr. Carp jumped into the pool. Splash! Now Otto went down too. All I could see was his tail. I could not see Mr. Carp at all. What was going on down there? What were they going down there? What were they doing down there in the pool? In the water? Now I could see nothing. Not Otto, not Mr. Carp, nothing at all. Would I see my Otto again? Would I see Mr. Carp again? "Mr. Carp! Mr. Carp!" I yelled. "What are you doing? Are you all right?" Then up jumped Mr. Carp. In his hand was a little fishbowl, and in the fishbowl was my Otto. Mr. Carp had made him little again. "Don't ask me how I did it," he said, "but here is your fish." "And from now on," said Mr. Carp, "please do not feed him too much. Just so much and no more." Now that is what I do always. Now I feed Otto so much and no more. Never more than a spot or something may happen. And now I know what. There's that little goldfish. Remember to follow rules. Remember, maybe when your mom and dad are asking you to feed the kitty or the doggy, then you only give them a little bit because they don't need a whole lot of food. Have a good Wednesday. Take care.